Alrighty, quick lesson video. Let's run through this real quick. This is going to be your laws of exponents. In this first lesson, we'll be going over two rules, the product rule and the power rule. Okay, so remember, this is a video, so at any time you can pause, take notes. I will be moving at a decent rate. So anyways, read through this information. We'll get to the work. Here's our warm-up here. So for the warm-up, we're going to be mainly going over this acronym right here. Again, one of the things that we're trying to push and undo in this class is something called overcoming hopelessness, okay? Because at this point, you guys have learned hopelessness. And what that means, we have some students, and when I say some, I strongly believe that majority of our students are afraid of trying because of mistakes. They see no value in making mistakes. Instead, they wait long enough for the answer because clearly their teacher is going to get to the answer eventually, and that's when they start writing things, okay? So one of the behaviors that we have to get away from with learned helplessness is your teacher, me. I'm going to have to stop giving you so much and let you work for every inch of success that you get, even if that success is a mistake, which means I start to acquire knowledge, experience, and skills, okay? We're going to learn from a lot of mistakes simply because you are going to do majority of the work. With great struggle, we'll overcome a lot of things, okay? We will overcome a lot of things, but we have to overcome this learned helplessness, okay? We have to overcome this learned helplessness. Anyways, guided instructions. These problems right here are an example of our product rule, okay? Product rule. The product rule with our exponents say that we should multiply coefficients. And afterwards, we add exponents. In order to add those exponents, they have to have the same base, okay? So in this situation right here, we got these two numbers right here. They're going to just do a simple 2 plus 3 and get 5. Easy money. Right here, these guys got coefficients, -4 and 5. They'll multiply those two and get -20. And then they will add these two together and get 5. That's what your answer would simplify to, okay? They multiply the coefficients. Those are the big numbers in front of the variables. And then they add the exponents. And here's one little, situation. Anything to the power of 0, it doesn't really exist. We can just cross it out. All right. And let's go ahead and bring in this coefficient. There's an invisible 1 right here that we're going to make visible. So when we go to multiply coefficients, you got 6 times -1, which is -6. And then for our x's, we're going to add the 2 with the 1. Yes, there's an invisible 1 right there. 2 plus 1 is 3. And for our y, since he's gone, we only have one y left. Okay, that's it. We only have one y left, which is how they simplify the answer. Okay. Again, the product rule is very easy, very simple, but we must get reps, and reps are going to make us elite, okay? Reps are going to make us elite. So with the product rule, we're going to multiply coefficients, okay? Going to multiply coefficients, and then we're going to add our exponents. Now, when we get to what they call a power rule, okay? Power rule. This can be applied to bases that are the same, okay? The product of power rules, the exponents, you only add them when they have the same basis, okay? They got to have the same basis, meaning they got to have the same x, same y, or if they use parentheses, parentheses have to be identical. Again, we'll get more exercise, all right? I'm going to skip this situation here and start getting into a comparison situation. Here we go. We got Abigail versus Mia. Abigail versus Mia. They're both working their problems, and they do it two different ways. So Abby is going to split her 30 using 6 and 5. I'm pretty sure that's fair game. 30 can be split up in between 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. All right. This is how they can be split up. So she decides to split hers into 6 and 5, which is all fair. You can do that. Also, her 7 is split up into 2 and 5. 2 plus 5 gives you 7. So these two can be factors, okay? These two can be separated this way. Because it's, we follow our rules. We got 6 times 5 right here. 6 times 5, that's going to give us the 30. And then we got the 2 plus 5, which gives us the 7. Easy money. Now we go over here to Mia. Mia has her 30 split up into 3 and 10. I'm pretty sure that 3 times 10 will give you 30. No harm done there. And now with the 7 being split up into 4 and 3, 4 plus 3 does give you 7. 4 plus 3 gives you 7. So both Mia and Abigail, they have attempted to write equivalent expressions, and indeed they have. Even though they're both different, they are both equivalent, okay? Both are equivalent to 30x to the 7th. And we got it by following rules. Real simple. We got that by following rules, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to the next piece, our guided practice. Now, these problems may be very intimidated at first sight, but we use a thing called EOC calculators, okay? We should not be startled by any of this. We use an EOC calculator. And it's going to do a lot of work for us, but it's not going to be our eyes. We must identify our coefficients, okay? And we type this stuff into the calculator, okay? We type this into the calculator. You will be doing -9 times 1 over 3 times -10. When you do this, clearly you're going to get a number. Whatever number you get is going to be your new coefficient. Okay? Guess what? You can do it. You don't need me to do it. Now I'm going to go to my t's. Remember, in order for me to add my exponents, they got to have the same base. In this situation, t is the base. So in my calculator, I type in 0 plus 20, and I end up with 20 for my t's. And then when I get to my u's, I got 3 different u's, okay? Got u to the 4th, u to the 11th, u to the 8th. I can just add these bad boys together using my calculator. 4 plus 11, which is 15, plus 8, which should be, what do you think? Whatever it is, that's what you get. You can do it, all right? I'm just here to teach you. You got to do some work yourself, okay? Got to do some of the work yourself. So just make sure you're taking your time, breaking stuff down, and identifying who's who, and using your calculator. Remember your rules. Multiply coefficients. That's these guys right here. So in your calculator, you should have these 3 numbers typed in, multiplying. And for your exponents, as long as they have the same base, I can add 4, 11, and 8, and that should be my exponent for my u. And again, who can do this? You can. All right, you can do it. This collaboration piece is where you work with a partner. I'm going to go ahead and go here to Kanaya and Nicholas' work, okay? Now, this is Kanaya's first attempt at working the power rule. And the power rule states that you multiply the exponents. So that outside exponent is going to multiply with the exponents on the inside. And yes, there's an invisible 1 right here, okay? So you will have to do 3 times 1 as well. Now, what we cannot forget, most people forget this, most students. Coefficient gets the outer exponent as well. Most students forget this. They forget this piece, and I'm going to put this in parentheses. It'll start hitting later why I got this in parentheses. I never see mistakes here. Kids do the 3 times 4, and they get the 12. Kids do the 1 times 3, and they get the 3. Most of them forget to do this piece right here. You have to take this 3 over to the -2. And you cannot type it in as -2 to the 3rd power. It has to be parentheses -2 to the 3rd power. This -2 came from the parentheses, okay? So it has to be in parentheses. As you can see, they split up these 3 bases. Everybody has their feet on the ground, so they get their own parenthesis, okay? And everybody gets the same 3 on the outside. If you can remember to type in this part into the calculator using parentheses, easy money, that's just -2 times -2 times -2, which is -8. Here would be your final answer. Easy money. This is your final simplification of this situation. Got to distribute. We would use that word, distribute. The outer exponent to everyone on the inside. Do not forget the exponent. The coefficient out front. Now, here we go. We're going to look at Nicholas' work here. And I'm going to tell you what Nicholas is doing. Nicholas is turning power. Oops, that's not how you spell power. Power into product. Okay? He knows that anything to the 3rd power means that you're going to multiply something 3 times. He's smart, all right? Nicholas is smart. So by doing that, we identify coefficients, -2, -2, -2. We multiply those and get -8. Easy money. Then we look at our x's, and we type in the calculator 4 plus 4 plus 4, which should give us 12. And last but not least, with our y's, we got 1 plus 1 plus 1, which should give us 3. They both end up with the same exact answer, but they took different routes. Up here, Kanaya uses pure power rules, whereas Nicholas changes power into product, all right? Which I like, you know what I mean? But we got to put a smiley face for both of them because they are rules that we have to follow, given the situation, okay? Given what situation we're put in, we have to follow the rules. Moving on. Now let's do some of this your turn situation. In our class, we use your turn as some homework because I definitely want you doing your work. That's what I want you doing. Right here, I got an exponent on the outside. Cool. That's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. And this 2 has to go all the way to the 3. I must type it in like this. -3 in parentheses. When we square it, we end up with 9. Okay. And now I'm going to bring the rest of the problem down. 20z to the 9th. -7z to the 14th. All right, so now I'm going to take these coefficients and I'm going to multiply them. When I multiply them, I end up with a number that you're going to do, all right? All your work. You can get your calculator and type in 9 times 20 times -7. I know you can do it. So take your time and do it. Yes, that is a -7. All right. Now, I'm going to go to the W's. How many W's do I have? It looks like I only have one of them. W to the 6. And then we get to our fantastic Z's. We got our Z's right here. We got 9 and 14. 9 plus 14. I'm going to add these bad boys together. What do I end up with? You figure it out. All right. You got a calculator. You can do some work. Mr. Fagan can't tell you everything, but I can be your teacher. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and conclude that video. Good luck on your assignment and good luck on your homework. Do your best to not be hopeless.